Hello, welcome to my secret obsession. I'm Cherish Lively, and I'm so excited to have you join me on a journey through love, laughter, and unforgettable romance. Whether you're here to escape into dreamy, heart-fluttering stories, or searching for the next book to swoon over, you're in the perfect spot. Together, we'll celebrate strong women, charming men, and the sparks of passion that make contemporary romance irresistible. So, get cozy, turn up the volume, and let's read a book. Billionaire's Romantic Christmas Surprise by Sass Green. Chapter 1. Guys, I have an announcement to make. I stand to emphasize the importance of what I'm about to say, but my voice barely carries over the festive chaos of lunch at Rosa Mexicana. On this sunny December Saturday, every table seems to be celebrating the upcoming holidays. A waiter nearly clips my shoulder, juggling plates of sizzling fajitas. Zaza pauses mid-sip of her margarita, and my NYU roommate Keisha looks up from her device. A minor miracle. They must hear the excitement in my voice. In 5 days' time, I'm about to meet and marry the man of my dreams. Exhausted from this revelation, I collapse into my chair, steeling myself for the barrage of questions sure to come. Zaza smooths back her glossy black hair, her expression quizzical. Well, that certainly came out of left field. I had no idea that Jane the Virgin had a man in mind for marriage, or anything else. Yes, please explain. Keisha looks up at my nearly drained margarita. Is this the tequila talking? You always were a lightweight. I shake my head. You guys remember me telling you about my grandmother, right? The gypsy fortune teller? Asked Zaza. Romanian, not gypsy. She was born with the gift of second sight. When I turned 16, she sat me down, looked into her crystal ball, and told me around my 21st birthday I'd meet the perfect man and marry him shortly thereafter. Your birthday. Zaza's eyes widen. But that's Christmas Day, I finish. How exactly did she tell you this? Keisha asks, her playwright's curiosity showing. What was the setup? Zaza rolls her eyes, snatching a tortilla chip from the nearly demolished basket. Not everyone thinks in scenes, Miss Theater Major, but I want to know too. Did she sit you down on a bed with a pink canopy, like in some schmaltzy Hallmark movie, and... Actually, it was more dramatic than that. I remember the night clearly, the fireplace crackling, casting shadows on my grandmother's treasured crystal ball. Grandma Molly gave me this ring first. I hold up my ring hand, the ruby catching the restaurant's holiday lights. It was her engagement ring. She said it would keep me pure until my wedding day. Like a magical chastity belt? Zaza snorts. Well, it worked, didn't it? You are still a virgin. I'm a virgin by choice, I say, realizing how defensive I sound to my own ears. The ring has nothing to do with it. None of the guys I've met felt right. My voice trails off as a group of rowdy jocks at the bar break into drunken Christmas carols. But now you think this mystery man will appear? Keisha checks her phone. Exactly 5 days. Grandma was specific about the timing, and she was never wrong about these things. Did she tell you anything else about him? Zaza leans forward. Like if he's rich, handsome, has all his teeth? Just that he'd be tall, dark, and handsome. That's it. Zaza makes a rude noise, accompanied by an even cruder gesture. Honey, your Bubba was yanking your chain. That describes half the guys in Manhattan. Give her a break, Zaza. Keisha leans forward towards me, flashing a thumbs up. I totally believe it. But here's the thing, I say, reaching for my Hello Kitty notebook. I'm worried I might mess it up somehow. How do you mean? Keisha asks. You know how I am. Quick to judge. Always suspicious of guys' motives. What if my soulmate walks in and I give him my usual cold shoulder? Yeah, well, Hate to break it to you, sweetie, but most guys do have ulterior motives. Zaza signals for another round of crunchy tortilla chips. You're going to have to relax a little if you want this prophecy thing to work out. I wouldn't worry about it, Jane, says Keisha thoughtfully. If he's the guy your grandmother prophesied for you, he'll love every quirky thing about you. Does that go for Jane's snarky mouth? Zaza says. Absolutely, says Keisha. He'll love everything that makes Jane Jane, like her obsession with ethnic jewelry. The clunkier, the better. The way every inch of her wool beanie is covered with pins, beads, and sew-on patches. I flip open my notebook, uncapping my pen. Good. I'm glad he'll embrace my quirks. But after waiting nearly 21 years for him, I want to make sure that he has the qualities I demand in a man. What's with the notebook? Asks Keisha. Grandma said wishes don't come true unless you write them down. Ha! Zaza grabs the last remaining chip. In that case, make sure you write down big bankroll and even bigger. Quiet, guys. I bend over my notebook, writing furiously. They watched in amused silence as I finished my list. Done. Let me see. Zaza grabs the notebook. Sense of humor is first in your dream man? Really? Of course. It's important, I say, snatching my notebook back and snapping it shut. I knew my friends would respond like this, but I couldn't keep it from them any longer. Look, I need to find a vintage Christmas tree topper for my aunt. I'm going to the Chelsea flea market. Who wants to come? Not me. Cramming for finals, Keisha says. I'm game. Zaza grabs her coat from the back of her chair. Good. I pull on my ancient black puffer coat and adjust my beanie, tucking my hair beneath it. As I wrap my colorful scarf around my neck, Zaza shakes her head. That scarf looks like you plucked it from a tarot card reader's table. And would it kill you to show off that amazing red hair? Leave her alone, Keisha says, signaling the waiter for the bill. Jane, I'll see you at the apartment when you get back. The snow falls harder as Zaza and I step outside. 5 days until Christmas. 5 days until my birthday. 5 days until my life changes forever. I twist my grandmother's ruby ring for good luck, eager for what the future has in store. Chapter 2. What a cool place, Zaza says as we enter the Chelsea flea market. The December air carries the scent of roasting chestnuts and cinnamon spice cider, while children's voices rise in the Christmas carols nearby. Vintage record dealers and antique vendors have decked their stalls with twinkling lights and garlands, creating a magical holiday atmosphere. The crowd pulses with last-minute Christmas energy. I had no idea this swap meet would be filled with hot guys, Zaza says, nudging my arm. I follow my friend's shrewd gaze, expecting one of her usual types, maybe a tattooed biker or her latest obsession, muscled guys with man buns. Instead, I gasped in surprise. There, towering over the crowd in an impeccably tailored pinstripe suit, is the most gorgeous man I've ever seen. Something about him makes my grandmother's words echo in my head. When you meet him, your heart will know. Scrumptious, Zaza says, her grin turning predatory. I could nibble on him like a gingerbread man. Start with his toes and work my way up to what must be his gigantic. Cannibalism is still illegal in New York, I quip, but can't help stealing another glance at the handsome stranger. He turns slightly, and for a moment our eyes meet across the crowd. I feel a mild heat rising on my finger beneath my ruby ring. It's like the universe is trying to tell me something. I feel an irresistible pull to the gorgeous man. But what will I say if I walk up to him? By the time I think up a wry remark, he's gone. Well, if he's really destined to be mine, I'll find him again, I think to myself. Focus on the mission, I say, more to myself than Zaza, tugging her arm. We need to find that vintage tree topper for my aunt. But before we can reach the Christmas vendors section, We're caught in a growing crowd. Music swells from the market's central stage, where a couple stands with their backs to the audience. The bride wears a 1950s wedding dress, layers of vintage tulle catching the winter sunlight. "What's going on?" I asked someone nearby. "That's Joe and Laura from the vintage stalls. Met here last Christmas. Got engaged right under that mistletoe." The officiant pronounces them husband and wife, and the popular song, "Shout" by the Isley Brothers, fills the air. A tiny blonde child in an antique flower girl dress appears, tugging my sleeve. Before I can protest, she's dragging me through the crowd. "Dance!" she commands, putting my hand into someone else's. The moment our fingers touch, electricity shoots up my arm. I look up into familiar blue eyes, the stranger from before. "Let's not disappoint our little matchmaker," he says, his voice warm and rich like spiced hot chocolate. His hand engulfs mine, and my grandmother's ring grows warm against my skin. Something about this touch feels inevitable, like I've been waiting for it my whole life. I should feel awkward. I usually do, but something about his lead makes everything feel natural. Maybe it's the way he grins when I nail a step, or how his hand steadies me when I wobble. Or maybe it's how his eyes haven't left mine since we started dancing. "Smile!" Zaza calls out, phone aimed our way. I realize I already am smiling wildly. As a self-described plain Jane, I'm usually the girl holding everyone's purses while they dance. But here I am, moving in sync with this gorgeous stranger, like we've done this 100 times before, like we'll do it 100 times more. The song builds to its chorus, and he spins me unexpectedly. My laugh bubbles up, genuine and free, making his eyes crinkle at the corners. For a moment, we're in our own snow globe of holiday magic, everything else blurred around the edges. His cologne teases my senses, winter pine and spice, as he pulls me slightly closer than the dance requires. He starts to say, but a scream pierces the festival atmosphere. My head whips around to see a black-clad figure darting through the crowd, knocking over a display of scars. He grasps the newlywed's box of cash envelopes in his hands. "Thief!" a woman cries out. My dance partner releases my hand, the loss of contact almost physical, and takes off after the thief. His pinstripe suit doesn't hamper him at all as he weaves through the startled crowd with athletic grace. I twist my grandmother's ring, watching him disappear into the crowd. Was that our moment? Did I lose my chance? Zaza grabs my arm. "Holy cow, Jane! Your mystery man's going all superhero on us." We watch, breathless, as he catches the thief near the exit. One fluid tackle, and he's got both the man pinned and the gift of envelopes secured. The crowd erupts in cheers as police officers appear, but I can't take my eyes off of him. My grandmother's words echo again. You'll know him by his actions as much as his heart. As the police take the thief away, my mysterious hero straightens his suit jacket. Somehow, still perfect, and returns the recovered money to the stunned newlyweds. "That was incredible," Zaza says, parting our way through the crowd as she drags me towards the stage. The wedding officiant's voice booms over the speakers. "A round of applause for our market hero." Through the crowd's cheers, I catch the stranger's eyes again. Something passes between us, making my ring pulse warmly against my skin. He takes a step toward me, but then the officiant speaks again. "And now, as tradition demands, the bouquet toss." "Come on!" Zaza snatches my beanie from my head. I feel my long, unruly red hair spiral down my back. "That's more like it," she says, nodding at my appearance in satisfaction. Then she pushes me forward with the other single women. "After that dance, this bouquet has your name on it." I start to protest, but the bride's already turning her back to the crowd. The bouquet arcs through the air, straight toward me. Without thinking, I jump and catch it. White roses and holly berries filling my arms. Here Comes the Bride plays over the speakers. My cheeks burn as I clutch the flowers, their sweet perfume mixing with lingering traces of his cologne. I spin around, heart racing, certain this is the moment my grandmother saw in her crystal ball. Everyone cheers me, and when I look up to the stage, I see the pinstripe prince. He's looking right at me. But then a large crowd passes before us, and when I look up at him again, he's gone. What did you do to make him disappear like that? Zaza demands, hands on hips. Nothing. But my voice catches. My fingers find my ring again, twisting frantically now. The dance, the rescue, the bouquet, it all felt so right. How could he just vanish? Don't worry, Jane. If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Let's just find my aunt's ornament, I mumble. I feel deflated, like I've finally reached an important door, but it slammed shut before I had the chance to enter. Surprisingly, Zaza hasn't given up hope. As we make our way toward the Christmas stalls, she scrutinizes every man in the crowd. I straighten my shoulders. 5 days until my birthday. 5 days for my grandmother's prediction to pan out. Fate has plans for me, I tell myself. I just need to believe in the Christmas magic. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope that you enjoyed today's reading. Your time and attention are truly appreciated. I love to write romance novels of all kinds: contemporary, suspense, paranormal, and steamy romance. You can listen to my other stories for free at My Secret Obsession. The links to other hosting sites are on the navigation bar at the top of the homepage at cherishlively.substack.com. If you enjoyed this reading, please follow, subscribe, or give a thumbs up. Your support means everything to me. Until we meet again, goodbye and happy reading.